For Arkansas, this is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome in Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon, as it is a Thursday, folks. So we're getting closer to the weekend, and we're in the back half of the work week, and we're going to have some fun on the show today, talk a lot about the things going on with Razorback football. Of course, Notre Dame's coming to town. I don't know if anyone heard about it. It was in all the papers this morning, so we'll get into that. And Razorback basketball, too. Some things happening there. And, of course, get to your chats. We'll have some heavy hitters. We'll have a lot of fun, especially going on with what's going on in the SEC and some updates there, too. But, fellas, it's Thursday. It's actually sunny for a change, it seems like. How are the vibes?
It is nice to see the sunshine. I'm not going to lie. We're going to attempt to eat dinner at a restaurant tonight. Don't know how that's going to go, but I'm excited to give it a shot. And I wasn't really sure what the vibes are going to be like until Andrew popped on before we started and I saw the hat. I'm always backward hats gang, but we're rocking the same one today, which means we're on the same wavelength. So this show has the potential, at least, to get electric.
I like that. I thought you were going to point out my my cool glass of chocolate milk. By the way, y'all know where I got this. Can y'all guess where I got this cup?
From Migrate?
Hey. That's a perfect cup to put chocolate milk in, baby.
Exactly. It's a perfect chocolate milk glass. That's what I got it for. But no, I'm excited today. There's a lot of times where you kind of have to like talk yourself into being in a good mood. I feel like I effectively did that today. Like, I know that it sounds like BS, but it's like this morning I really like sat down and I was like, let me be in a good mood. But on a serious note, I am grateful that we get to do this every day and that we have this platform and that everyone joins and everyone's participating with us, even the ones that I don't like. I'm grateful that they exist. I'm grateful that we have this nice little cool safe space here, even if everyone yells at us.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. Don't piss off Andrew in the chat. He's in a good mood. So just let him ride this for the next hour and a half or so. Okay, please. That's all we ask. He's in a good mood. So don't let that happen. But no, it's crazy, man. We continue to talk about all the things going on with, Razorback football and the current state. Here's the deal. Nothing's happened. Like, as far as on the field, off the field, hirings, firings, everything that everyone's wanting, zero has happened. As far as conversations taking place, they have the game that's going to be played against Notre Dame. They had the Catfish Hole show last night with Sam Pittman. Woo-hoo. All of that is still going on, and it's going to continue, and none of that's going to change at any point in time. But it was kind of wild yesterday, guys, where we were talking about it. The drama didn't stop. I mean, there was some madness that was going on, and that's what, I kind of look at it where the entertainment, the interest value of what happens when these current situations are going on. But I didn't plan on leading off the show, but since I kind of set it up this way, how about that whole thing with Brilen Russell's dad and doing a live on Facebook and calling out DJ Williams, former Razorback, who does a podcast and live stream, and then DJ responding to it. It's like, that's the type of stuff when it's, it's like you just don't really need it right now. I mean, and not to say that, you should ever talk about these things. And, the things get talked about, but that was just kind of one of those things like, where did this come from? Like, out of left field. All right. So add this to the mix, add this to the pile of craziness that's happening with Razorback football.
It was out of left field and it was completely out of line, or at least out of context. And I thought DJ handled it really well in terms of how he responded, just kind of pulling all the receipts, because they were kind of on the same team of, man, Brilen had 4 carries for 47 yards. Why the hell wasn't he getting the rock late in the game? Like, what happened here? There has to be a reason. He just pointed that one play that he screwed up and said, maybe that was it. But he did follow up like a million times saying, no, he should have got the ball more. No, they should have done this. Talon was shaky. Hand the ball to your bell cow. Whatever. I thought that was all fine, but this whole situation is just crazy, because you're right, John. Like, nothing has happened since the football game on Saturday that Arkansas lost, but it's just one piece of drama after another. And like I put a tweet out last night and a lot of people understood it, but some people took it way out of context. Like I was making excuses for Sam Pittman or something. Not doing that at all. Like the dude is very much on the hot seat, fighting for his job for so many reasons, for things that have happened on the field. But the off-field stuff that's going on as well, it's just like fanning the flames when it's already hot enough. You know what I mean? But like, you got the Hunter Yurachek situation where he's just basically throwing your current team under the bus, saying they're not good enough to compete at the highest level. Well, God, that's a thing I really like to hear after 3 games of the year. And then you get through that and you lose another hard one. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, your offensive coordinator is staging a coup. We've got a national reporter who's putting that stuff out there. You think you get that squashed, and then you've got your in-state running back who was in and out of the portal 15 times during the offseason. His dad is teeing off, not just on a former player and a notable figure in the state and DJ Williams, but he was teeing off on Bobby Petrino and everybody else in between. It's just that kind of nonsense that you don't need. And a lot of people were right in saying it's just, when things get to this point, the rats start scurrying, the vultures start, swirling around. And that's where we're at with this whole situation. It's crazy that we haven't played football. We haven't even talked about the Notre Dame football game, but we've had plenty to talk about to get us through all these shows this week. It's nuts, man.
Yeah, the good news is, and I say that, I guess, kind of like ironically, but like seriously, the good news is that this Brilen Russell's dad being crazy thing is not a new development. This is not a result of, oh, the team must hate each other, and that's why Brilen Russell's dad is speaking out. No, Brilen Russell's dad does stuff like this. He will hop on Facebook and get his thoughts off his chest. I mean, he will say, hey, my son needs to do this. My son's doing this. I mean, the guy, Brilen Russell, didn't just randomly come up with the idea to enter the transfer portal 3 times this offseason. Like, there's always been something there. And so you're right, Curtis. When things are bad, that's when you start hearing from people that want to kind of get their message across. And so I think that, it's a funny thing to talk about. I don't necessarily I think some people are going to look at this and be like, oh, this is a sign that the program is lost and all that. And I don't think it is, even though the program may be lost. It's just not because of this. But it is just funny how we have all these crazy stories. I'm trying to think, is there an example of a parent of a player speaking out publicly and giving their thoughts on the coaching staff or whatever, and it going well? Like, when is the one time that a father has spoken out and been like, man, that guy made a lot of really good points, man. Now I view this in a different light, in a good way. Like, when is the time that's ever worked?
I mean, you didn't think that the Springdale 5 parents sitting down with Frank Broyles and it being reported that they were sitting about the future of the program as they had freshman kids on the team. You didn't think that didn't work out well? Come on. No, but you're right, though, Andrew. The point is, it's one of those things where it's not good for anybody involved. And I get it. Every parents with their kids, it's different. It's everybody handles their own way and doing it their own way. But it's always about, again, the perception in the current state, because there are, say if Arkansas was winning at a high level and being 10-2 or 11-1 or whatever, and then something like this happened, I think most Razorback fans would be like, hey, shut up, guy. Hey, we're winning, we're successful. But then because of something like this, it just piles on to what already people are feeling about. And, it would be one thing if it was just like out of left field from an individual or a parent that did this, like no one had ever heard a peep out of them, and then they did this. It may have a little bit of like, okay, wow, this is a little bit maybe more serious. But then, it got a guy like, which I don't know Brilen Russell's dad. I don't know Brilen Russell or anything like that. So it was very explosive, and it was very emotional, and it was very calling a lot of things out. And again, minus the DJ Williams thing, like you said, Curtis, the Bobby Petrino stuff. It's like, jeez, man, adding this to the mix of already some chaos that's happening. And all it does is just make people continue to question, continue to say, oh man, this is all bad. The wheels are falling off. There's no real positives, I feel like, that could come out of anything like this in particular. But that was the way they chose to do it and chose to handle it, I guess.
Agreed. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at with this football game coming up on Saturday. Is if you just look at the two teams and you match them up on paper, you don't consider any of the outside factors, I do think it's easy to look at it and be like, man, Arkansas, they could make this a really competitive game. It wouldn't be crazy if they beat them on their home field. Notre Dame, the defense, you can do all those things. But I just look at all this extra stuff right now, and I'm just thinking, how in the world is this team, from staff all the way down to the final player, the final walk-on or whatever, locked in, dialed in, doing everything they need to be doing to focus on beating Notre Dame in a football game with all this other nonsense going on? That's where I'm at with it. It has nothing to do with the two teams on the field playing a football game. It's everything else that goes into it, because I look at Notre Dame, backs against the wall. You need to win out if you're going to get yourself into the college football playoff. They still have a lot to play for here. And, Arkansas, it's like, good grief, man, what the hell is going on with all this other stuff? I'll tell you this right now. if they do lock in and win this game against Notre Dame, I do not want to hear another damn word about Sam Pittman. I don't want to hear another word about him, because this would be his best coaching job during his tenure. If he wins this football game with everything that's going on right now, it will be the best job that he has done in an individual game. And I'm including beating Tennessee last year, all that, because it's crazy everything that's going on right now. If he gets it done, shut up talking about him.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's going to take your advice, Curtis, and they're just going to all get in a big circle and be happy. I'm sure it won't cause more. I'm sure there are going to be half the fan base that are going to be like angry if Arkansas wins on Saturday. But I will say, when you look at this game and, everyone, I think a lot of people have been surprised at how close the line is, surprised at how many people are giving Arkansas a chance. And of course, we all kind of feel that same sentiment where we're like, I don't know if that's necessarily the racehorse you want to pick. I do think if both of these teams play to the capability that they've shown through the first 3-4 weeks of the season, Arkansas is going to score, and they're going to score a decent amount on a really bad Notre Dame defense, and they're going to have a chance to win the game late. If things just kind of play out the way they have the last 4 weeks, Arkansas actually will have a chance to win this game. The problem with that is we always make the assumption that our team is going to play their best game. Like, if we just play our best game, we can beat this team. If we play to our potential, we can beat this team. And I think that is the assumption that some people are making. And I'm not saying everyone. The people that think Arkansas is going to win are just kind of assuming, hey, you know what? This offense has been good. If they just kind of play their A game, they could definitely beat Notre Dame. But to your point, Curtis, I don't know. That is assuming that everyone is rowing in the same direction, that everyone is locked in on the same goal. And that is just not an assumption we can make. And we can't assume that this team is not going to quit when things get hard. That is the problem. And so it's like, I'm sure Arkansas will score. I'm sure that they'll be able to make some plays here and there. But what are they going to do when they get punched in the mouth? Are they going to fold? Are they going to quit? History says yes. And anytime they faced adversity in this season would tell you, yes, they are probably going to fold whenever they hit that adversity. But it is going to be fascinating. And I can't wait to see like the mental gymnastics of how we come out of this game. In all likelihood, they're going to lose a 1-score game, which is going to kind of just be perfect. But even then, like, what does that look like? Will that lead to an immediate firing? Will that lead to just more conversation, more discontent, and we just kind of drag this thing out? Like, what is it going to look like on Saturday? I can't wait. I also can't wait to see the mental gymnastics if Arkansas wins. Yeah.
In fact, I was asking this question before the show started, and I don't know if you heard it, Andrew, but would they bring up I bring up the 17-43 record in one possession games since 2012 and everything. Could you name the year where Arkansas had the most one possession games, not wins or losses, but just in general, one possession games?
I could, because I was still in the room when you said that. I was just making my glass of chocolate milk.
Thank you for
I believe
being
that
on.
would be 2015, John. If my estimates are correct, I think it's 2015.
Yes, 2015 is the correct answer. Nicely done. They had six of those, but it's also there's also another year though where they had almost 6. They had 5 of these. And it was 2023. Now, why do I bring up that year? That was the year Arkansas went 4-8. That was the year that maybe you guys would agree or disagree, but that was the year that you could say that maybe the team kind of gave up. The Dan Eno situation, the firing, the all of that. Arkansas played in 5 one-possession games. They lost every single one of them. It started with BYU. It started with LSU. Then it went to Ole Miss, then Bama, and then Mississippi State. Now, the reason, again, I bring that up, and to your point about giving up, Andrew, all of those games were in the early part of the year, like back to back to back to back. And I know it was a different personnel, different team, different quarterbacks, all of that. But to me, that's what's going to be fascinating is, as far as mailing it in or do they give up, is if they lose to Notre Dame again for another one possession game. Is that going to be what sets things overboard? Is that what's going to be sets this team into a disarray completely moving forward? Luckily, you have a bye week, but I don't know if that's going to be good or bad or what will happen. But the point is like it's one thing if you're getting close and then you kind of break through. But if Arkansas has another deal where they lose 3 straight games by one possession, and you're looking back on those and you'd be like, we're 5-0, is that going to be? I'm just wondering, will that be more detrimental to the team as far as their morale, to the feeling as if hey, you won one of these games but got blown out in 2? You know what I'm saying? Like, does close yet so far make it worse for the morale and for the team and moving forward?
It's tough to say, man. It's tough to say. like he can't escape the Scott Frost allegations at this point. Does he have a worse one-score record than Scott Frost did at this point? I don't know, over at Nebraska, but yeah, it's just crazy because right now, like don't get me wrong, there's some quit on the field. Like if you watch the defense and some of the lack of effort stuff right there, like it's hard to call it anything else other than that. But there hasn't been that letting go of the rope yet. Like they haven't been quitting on the field. They've just been screwing up on the field to lose these games. And that's what irritates people the most, because we've just seen the same story time and time and time again. So to me, I feel like more of the backbreaker would be if you add into account letting go of that rope and then you just get blown out at home. Like if they just get smacked and it's like they're over it, they're done, that feels like more of a final nail in the coffin for me. Because you still see, it's just like I just talked about. But, if Sam Pittman wins this football game, he gets one of those one-score wins, one of those big ones, it gives you that little bit of hope. All it's doing regardless is kicking the can down the road. But I just think it would kick the can down the road to the end of the season before they do anything. My thoughts on next season and who's going to be coaching the football team, none of that has changed right now. But if we're talking about the immediacy of things, I think it would need to be getting your ass kicked on your home field and hearing those boo birds and everything like that, more than another highly competitive game where you just screw it up in the final possession.
I definitely agreed on that. That like if you are sitting at home and you really are desperate and you want Sam Pittman to be fired, you should be cheering for Arkansas to get blown out 56-0, because I think that would be the way to do it. Because I'm with you. I don't think a 31-27 loss is gonna can Sam Pittman. I really honestly don't. But in terms of the self-belief angle, it's fascinating because it's not really what we say and what we think about this really means nothing. All these athletes, all these great coaches tell themselves things in their brain that make them go, that make them tick. I mean, Vanderbilt, they tell themselves going into every game, we're the best program in the country. We are the best team. We are the best program. We're tougher. We're more physical. And they're not right. They're not correct in their assessment, but that self-belief is a huge driving force for what they do. And so for Sam Pittman and this team, whatever they have to tell themselves, if it works, cool. Tell yourself whatever you got to do. But, John, you mentioned the 2015 team, and I think it's fascinating. There are way more parallels to this 2015 team than I think people realize. And one of the parallels is that 2015 team lost to a group of 5 team early in the year, lost a game to Texas Tech that you really probably shouldn't have lost a game to A&M, which I would say is pretty similar to that Ole Miss game, like lost some of these games early, and then they finally got over that hump and beat Auburn in a one-score game, and it propelled them, and it unlocked something that we didn't see in them. It unlocked a new level to that team. And then you saw them go to Baton Rouge, beat LSU, saw them have the 53-52 Henry Heave play. You saw them do all these great things, and it's kind of like a baffling season. And people are like, how the hell could that happen? Because the margin for error is so small in this sport. And so it's like just simply having that belief and kind of having that toughness and that ability to handle that adversity can be the difference between you losing to Toledo and you going into Death Valley and beating LSU. Not saying that's what's going to happen with this Razorback team, but like, it's definitely on the table. Like, this team is definitely good enough to beat teams. They're definitely good enough to be back in that spot. But here's the difference. Does this 2050 or does this 2025 team have that same identity and toughness that 2015 team sort of developed throughout the year? And they had to develop it. I don't know how they figured it out. I don't know what those conversations were like with Brett Bielema and that staff and Brandon Allen and what he's telling the offense. I don't know what that looked like, but whatever they did worked. And so now the question is, and by the way, Pittman was on that staff, can they find anything similar here? The only problem is that it just seems like you said, like whenever adversity strikes, you see this team kind of tense up. Will this team now, when they get in a one-score game, have that extra motivation of like, hey, we've been so close before, we have to get it. We're scratching and clawing and fighting to get that one-score win. If they have that mentality, they're going to have a chance. But if they have that mentality of like, oh, crap, we've seen this movie before. It's a one-score game. We don't do well here. And like that's kind of my fear here, is that we're just going to keep seeing this play out because of those same things, and because you don't have depth on the defense. So it's like you get to the fourth quarter, you're tired, your opponent's not. It's going to be hard to overcome those circumstances.
Well, you mentioned the 2015 team. I always felt that the big turnaround in that was Brandon Allen was not playing well. And then once he kind of went through it, the rest of it came with it. Because I think at least trying to go back in time to that time in that season, it was almost like, hey, the team's really good surrounding it, but it's the quarterback that's an issue here. I think what was it in that Toledo game? Arkansas had like 500 yards of offense and 12 points. Like, what? Like, how does that happen? But once he turned the corner, it seemed like everyone started believing. And that's where I'm wondering, because Taylon Green, I know he's not been perfect at times, but he's been really good. So there has to be another perhaps player. Like, is it a Is it just the defense in general? Like, what if the defense starts putting it together and figuring some things out? Does that make everything come along and come alive with it? Is it just a running back, or is it a wide receiver that just starts balling out like crazy and he's unstoppable? I don't know. I don't know what it would take, but I'm with you guys on how this is going to look and what this game is going to mean as far as how this team comes out of the gates looking. And that's why part of the Alumni Hall question of the day, which, by the way, we're going to be there like tomorrow from 12 to 2. So you guys better come hang out with us, because if you come over there to Alumni Hall at 3417 North College Avenue, you'll have a chance to have a $250 gift card there to Alumni Hall. They're going to do a drawing, so you can go and enter for it by going to insidearkansas.com/Alumni Hall, or you can come hang out with us. We're also going to have some other giveaways, some other really cool stuff. We're going to do our Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas giveaway there as well. So come hang out. Hogs by 20 will get you 20% off, not Hogs by 90. You guys need to stop doing that joke, because I'm sure they're tired of it over there, where you're like, oh, no, Hogs by 90 to get 90% off. No, it's Hogs by 20, get 20% off. That's the way it is. So come hang out with us tomorrow at Alumni Hall, 3417 North College Avenue. And it was simply a confidence level thing for Arkansas. It's like, hey, how confident are you that Arkansas can beat Notre Dame on Saturday? Very confident, somewhat confident, not confident, not that confident, and then not confident at all. 36% say not confident at all. That's the leading the way of not at all. But slightly behind that is not that confident. So it's almost like there's a little bit of doubt there, but somewhat confident, sitting at 25%. So still fairly high, very confident, next to nothing. So either way, it feels like Razorback fans in general kind of feel what we've been talking about, where, and like you said, Andrew, you're good enough to win. It's not like you're, getting embarrassed, getting run off the field, but you're also, there's nothing for you to feel confident in why this team will win tomorrow or on Saturday. Like, there's nothing you can point to, be like, well, the offense, well, actually, same time, the offense had some struggles. Oh, well, but the defense, the defense hasn't been very good. All the turnovers, we actually turned it over pretty roughly. It was like, there's just nothing you can point to make you feel confident fully that Arkansas for sure is going to win this game. Because let's be honest, guys, if we're watching this game, there's 5 minutes left, and maybe let's say 3 minutes left, and it's a one possession game. I mean, every one of us are back. All right, yeah, we know how this ends. I mean, it's just how the way it feels, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to feel any other way. It is interesting how, I mean, it hasn't been like the excruciating last possession fumbles that have plagued Arkansas, but similarities with Notre Dame and how their season has gone so far. I mean, they've lost one possession games in the final, minutes or whatever, to two teams that look like they're college football playoff worthy teams. I mean, they battle with both of them, but tough ones, man, in those two there. And then, yeah, I mean, their offense looked great, I thought, against Purdue. But, yeah, I mean, like, defensively, Barry Odom and the boys were kind of carving them up a little bit. We know about Arkansas' struggles defensively. Like, there are some interesting parallels between the two teams in this football game going into it. And everybody's thinking it's going to be a shootout. Like, I saw somebody put like 70-35 and here's the score. I think I saw the over-under. Maybe it was a couple of days ago, but it was like 64.5 or whatever. I was like, that's low, man. Like, both these teams might score in the 40s. I don't know. But yeah, I'm with you. It's, even though Notre Dame has kind of fallen to some of the same fate with these really close excruciating losses so far this season, don't you just feel a little bit different with Arkansas' situation here? I think I'll give Marcus Freeman the benefit and the doubt if it comes down to a last team to score wins or a final possession, executing what you have to get it done over what Sam Pittman's shown us here over the years.
Well, especially because that's like a facet of Notre Dame's program of like doing all the little things, being disciplined, being, tough, and like kind of playing four quarters, not giving your opponent chances. And so part of me does kind of feel like when I think about this matchup, I think if Notre Dame does what Notre Dame typically does, and I know that this year's a little bit different because their defense isn't nearly as good as it has been in past years, definitely not what it was last year. Their run game hasn't been as consistent as they thought it was going to be. They thought Jeremiah Love was going to be like the best back in the country, and he's a stud. It's not his fault. They thought they were going to have this consistent, dominant run game. They don't have that necessarily, but I think Notre Dame just makes less mistakes historically. Marcus Freeman, that's been a huge part of their program. They don't do a ton of stupid stuff, and so I see this game playing out in that way a lot, where Arkansas is just going to do stupid stuff down the stretch. But let me ask y'all this. Do we all agree that if Arkansas played like their A- or A+ game and Notre Dame plays like their C game, Arkansas probably beats them? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say that.
Now, the problem is you're not ever guaranteed. You can go through a 12-game season. You are not guaranteed to get an A game. Like, I don't think that 2023 team that you mentioned, John, I don't think we ever saw what the best version of that team was. We just never saw it come together. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen here or that Arkansas is going to play their A game. I just think it's fascinating. You know, a lot of the people that have just completely dismissed that this game could even be close or could even be competitive. It's like, I don't know if Notre Dame is like this sure thing to play their A game week in and week out. And Arkansas sure as hell isn't. But there is at least a world there. And so I guess my question is, what game did Arkansas play against Memphis? Was that like their C- game? Or was that their B+ game? Or was that like close to as good as they can play? And what does that look like moving forward? Because I feel like down the stretch, when we're trying to figure out expectations for this Arkansas team, we have no idea what team to expect week to week. And by the way, Sam Pittman also doesn't know what team to expect week to week. There's all the time he's like, whoa, we had a great week of practice. I didn't know we were going to struggle in the run game. I didn't know we were going to struggle here. So he has no idea either. But I think this week is going to be a big week to figure out, what is this ceiling? Like, is there anything left there? Because if Arkansas does just play this just one random awesome game, I look at the schedule and there's like 3 or 4 teams that I feel like they would comfortably beat with an A-, A+ type of game. I don't necessarily think it's going to be this week, but I think it's going to be fascinating. Like, if there is any semblance of dog in this team or any semblance of still having a lot of motivation and there's still something for them to accomplish, it would have to come out in this game, right? Like, if you can't get motivated and you can't show up when everyone is kind of like ready to count you out and you've got the biggest crowd you're going to have all year, if you don't show up in this game, you are not showing up the rest of the year. So I feel like the pressure, I mean, I'm not breaking any news here. The pressure's at an all-time high, but I also don't want to discount the possibility that this team plays their best game of the season this Saturday.
Yeah, well, because I do agree with the motivation, getting up for a game, however you want to put it. If Arkansas is going to do it, this is the time. I mean, this is you got Notre Dame coming to town. You're back at home. I still think, guys, that the fans are going to show up. I don't know if it's going to be 75,000, but I don't think it's also going to be 50,000. Like, I think the fans are still going to show up. I think there's still going to be a lot there. But if you just come out flat and not caring and all of that, boy, it's gonna be sinking pretty fast. And we know, as we've talked about, Arkansas at 11 a.m. games, that's not their thing, especially at home. Like, I feel like they always lose 11 a.m. games at home. They don't come out the right way. But I also think, going to your point of the A game, B game, or whatever, it's kind of tough because I feel like it's about quarters for this team. There's a quarter they'll look amazing, but then the next quarter they look completely different. So it's like it's almost the inconsistency throughout the games. I mean, because we talked about with last week against Memphis, Arkansas's offense looked about as unstoppable as you could see against Memphis in the first half. Second half, they had 3 points. So it just, none of it makes sense sometimes. And I don't know, if they're going to play their A game against Notre Dame, it would be something that would be very telling about this team's mentality of like still feeling like they can fight for something. And I'm with you too, Curtis, about Sam Pittman. If they go out and they win this game, I'm not sitting here saying Sam Pittman won, give him an extension, keep him here. But you can't deny the fact that he's still fighting, he's still coaching, and these players are still wanting to play for him and all that. Like, you cannot deny that fact they come out and win.
Yeah, he'll get the rest of the year. If they win, he'll get the rest of the year.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And
I mean, there's a chance he gets the rest of the year no matter what. But if he
Agreed.
wins 1,000%.
People don't want to hear that, but I agree with what you just said.
And by the way, we don't agree with that. But we're just saying that it's a thing that probably will happen if they win. Yeah.
And I'm honestly, he deserves to. Like, if they beat Notre Dame, he deserves the rest of the year for sure. I mean, again, unless just some crazy stuff ends up happening. But I believe that he absolutely will deserve that. We'll continue on the conversation here on Inside Arkansas Live. I want to remind everybody that we have an official partnership with our friends over at OZK Insurance. Are you tired of juggling insurance companies just to find the right coverage? I'm sure you are. Like, you got so much stuff going on, and knowing that there's so many different insurance companies out there, but you want to make sure you're protected. You want to make sure you're good to go. Well, that's what OZK Insurance and Rogers is going to help you out with. They make insurance very simple. They're a 100% independent agency, and they shop the entire marketplace, which is going to give you the best coverage for the best cost, saving you time and saving you money, which last time I checked, everyone in the world loves to save time and save money. So it's home, auto, boat, motorcycle, life, commercial insurance. They do it all, and they serve the Northwest Arkansas, Central Arkansas, all over the state. So let OZK Insurance be the trusted advisor you never knew you needed. Start with a free online quote today at ozkinsurance.com. or you can call 479-715-4200. That's 479-715-4200. OZK Insurance, protection made simple. So, and speaking of that, I saw Pete Thamel tweeted out, for what it's worth, that star Notre Dame cornerback Leonard Moore is questionable again for the game against Arkansas, and the nickel player, Devontae Smith, is also upgraded to probable. So, hey, a pretty tough pass defense that has not done very well this year for Notre Dame. They're going to be without some of their players. And I'll tell you this, guys, I can't remember if I brought up yesterday. I probably did, but I had a conversation with the Notre Dame Locked On host yesterday, and I was just curious, hey, what's y'all's thoughts? And they're in a way very different because Notre Dame went to the College Football Playoff National Championship last year. But in a way, both teams are kind of in the same situation where fans are mad. They're upset. They're like, why do we keep losing these scores? It's because Chris Ash is getting under fire and everything. So it's a very weird situation for both of these teams to be in. I don't think any of us would have thought going into this game with Arkansas and Notre Dame that both these teams would have a combined 4 losses. I don't think any of us really thought that. And so this was a game I think a lot of people maybe look forward to, and they're still going to watch it, but it makes a pretty big difference given the circumstances. But it seems like they're in pretty similar circumstances. Notre Dame's trying to get back to the playoff, and Arkansas, not that case. And the main reason I brought it up too, I don't want to ramble, but we don't get an injury report because it's not an SEC game, so it's not required. But I mean, what are the players, or are there players that we have to be concerned about for Arkansas being injured or not ready to go in this game?
According to Sam Pittman, they're healthy. Arkansas is. That nobody on the 2 deep is expected to miss this game. So
well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I mean,
they're going to have a loaded depth there. A lot of depth.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's funny is, like, as much as, like, I know they David Oakey missed some time. There's some questions. Arkansas's been pretty healthy for the most part, knock on wood. So the fact that they haven't been able to play 4 quarters of football in any of these games, despite having almost your entire team healthy, is kind of crazy. Thinking of the Notre Dame aspect, if you're a Notre Dame fan and Marcus Freeman loses this game, I know you just went to the playoff. That has to be a massive red flag, like a massive, massive red flag. I don't know how I would contextualize a loss at Arkansas in this situation if I was a Notre Dame fan, because that would effectively eliminate them from the playoff, right? If they lost to Arkansas, I would say that would firmly do that. It'd be crazy to come off a playoff appearance and feel like you have a lot of momentum and you're a program back on the top of college football, and all of a sudden it's week 4, week 5, and your season's over.
Yeah. No, that's a great point too, because it's like Notre Dame's defense, I think I saw that they were like 7th in the country maybe last year, or one of the better defenses, and that's why they were in the championship. And then you hire a new defensive coordinator, and here you are having one of the worst defenses. There's problems there, and there's some frustration there. I'm wondering if it's going to end up being like the Bo Pelini thing at LSU, like where they won a championship, they got gutted. We got to bring a new defensive coordinator. Hey, let's bring in this guy that's been around a long time, and you bring him in, and it's just awful. It's just absolutely awful. It could end up being that way. But yeah, if I'm a Notre Dame fan and y'all lost this game to Arkansas, I jokingly told you all in the text group, I was like, oh, I'd fire Marcus Freeman. I obviously wouldn't, but it would definitely be one of those deals where, like, I want heads to roll if I'm a Notre Dame fan. Not to say like it's the most embarrassing thing to lose to Arkansas, but Arkansas is not great either. Like they've lost 2 games, and you're a team that should be better than Arkansas every year. And if you lose to both SEC teams that you're supposed to play in Texas A&M at home and at Arkansas in back-to-back times, it's going to be tough to really feel good about your current status of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So a lot of pressure there too for them.
Are we and everyone just kind of discounting how talented and good Notre Dame actually is, though?
Of course.
Because I get this sense that people think that this is just a garbage ass football team, and they're not. They are very, very close. Like, kind of like Arkansas in a way, but they're only a couple plays away from being undefeated and being like top 3 in the country right now. I know the defense hasn't been as advertised, but I mean, Miami look like maybe the best team in the country. They had 324 yards on Notre Dame. It's like the defense has shown that it's capable of doing something out there. I know Purdue scored on them in a complete blowout. There's just more possessions, so it doesn't necessarily surprise me that happens. Marcel Reed made some huge plays in the passing game against them. So I think people look at that and I think, well, geez, if Marcel Reed can do that, then Taylon Green can do it as well. I will throw out there that Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion, like those receivers over there for Texas A&M are pretty damn good. Marcel Reed was also under 50% completions in that game. It was like a really weird stat line for him, but they gave up some big plays out there. So maybe it comes down to what Bobby is able to scheme up if he's worried about preparing this football team instead of taking Sam's job, I guess. But I just get this feeling that people are just thinking that Notre Dame is like Arkansas State or something coming in here. It's kind of weird to me that we've gotten to that point.
Yeah, mark me in the camp of Notre Dame is not nearly as bad as everyone seems to think they are. And I'm not saying they're clearly not as good as they were last year. Like I'm not saying they're like a playoff team. They're great. But yeah, that Miami game has aged extremely well. I mean, Miami literally might be the best team in the country. If you're just power ranking teams based upon how they played, Miami is as good as anyone. I mean, they just dominated Florida. They're going to have some other good wins. Like that's a really good squad. So I don't view that game as a like knock on the resume necessarily, especially as it pertains to this. And you mentioned the A&M game, who, by the way, I'm high on A&M. I think A&M's a top 10 team. And so people may see that and say, well, if A&M beat them at Notre Dame, I mean, we're not that far away from Notre Dame or from A&M. I don't agree with that. Like, I think A&M is going to beat Arkansas by like double digits in Fayetteville. And so like, I think that those two losses, it's, both teams can do we're almost undefeated thing. Notre Dame almost beat two of the top 7 or 8 teams in the country. Arkansas almost beat an okay Ole Miss team, a pretty good Ole Miss team, and then a Memphis team that they have no business losing to, no disrespect. So it's just a little bit different there for sure. And so that's part of why I think if Marcus Freeman loses this game, it's a huge red flag for him and his staff. Like, I don't know how you justify that to your fan base.
When I think about this Purdue game, because I know a lot of people are pretty hung up on that because they gave up 30 to Purdue. It's 56-30. It kind of reminds me, and I don't remember the exact year, but when Alabama beat Arkansas like 63-30 or like whatever it was. And, Arkansas fans were like, wow, man, we scored a lot of points on Alabama. And Nick Saban used that to be like, all right, we got to tighten up here and everything. But that's a little bit misleading kind of deal.
Go look at Arkansas's stats from the Ole Miss game last year. You'll be stunned. Arkansas had like 550 yards of offense against Ole Miss last year. And you don't remember that because it all was useless. That Purdue game was very deceiving. Notre Dame that was not a close game by any stretch of the imagination. And I think Notre Dame was up by 40 in the third quarter at one point.
Yeah, no, that's my favorite thing is going back. It's like, hey, we scored more points on Alabama than any other team this year. So therefore, like, we're really good. It's like, no, not all games are created equal. And this is going to be another one that you can't look at anything other than just, the matchups and the coaching and all those things are going to come into play. But listen, I actually want to bring up something that's going to be very important. Not really, but I at least want to bring it up. But we'll do that in your segment. I want to remind everybody that Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas, we're doing the giveaway for a free Halloween lighting setup and install at your home. If you're in the Northwest Arkansas area or the River Valley area, be sure to go and submit your entry for this giveaway that we're going to have tomorrow at Alumni Hall, where you will get a free Halloween setup with all the professionals doing it from Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas. You just go to insidearkansas.com/giveaways, insidearkansas.com/giveaways. You go to that website and you fill out the form, and we're going to do the giveaway tomorrow during Inside Arkansas Live. They're the best in the business. So this is a great deal that you won't want to miss out on. And if you're looking to get Halloween lights or Christmas lights even, be sure to give our guy Brett a text today for a free estimate at 479-459-1380. That's 479-459-1380. And again, you can sign up for all those lights. And if you get Halloween lights, you'll get your Christmas lights for 50% off. It's a great deal. So we appreciate Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas being a part of it and looking forward to doing that giveaway tomorrow. Again, go to insidearkansas.com/giveaways for your entry. All right, guys, here's the thing is like, we're talking about Notre Dame and they're a good team and all. And, they played some really good teams, but they're going to have to deal with the stripe out tomorrow, okay, in Arkansas and in Fayetteville. So make sure, folks, look at your screen right now. Make sure you got your sections of what color you're going to wear and everything. Again, I'm just bringing this up because it's funny and it made me laugh. But not to say it's a bad thing, because the stripe outs are fun, and I guess, but they're still trying out here, man. They're still trying to. Don't look at the replies of those tweets and those social media posts, because I feel bad for them anytime it's like, hey, stripe out. I'd be like, hey, go stripe out Hunter Yurchek and put a tar and feather him. And it's like, all right, relax, everybody. They're just doing their job, trying to get everybody excited. But so it's stripe out against Notre Dame on Saturday. You think they'll have an honoring for Lou Holtz being there, like some sort of thing?
Probably.
Surely they would.
How healthy is Lou Holtz? And I'm not asking that in a joking way. Like seriously, like what's his? I mean, because he's getting up there. I would imagine he's probably not the most nimble.
Yeah. I mean, I think you saw that video that he posted, I guess, or they posted the other day, and it looks like I don't know how mobile he may be, but he's healthy enough to at least speak intelligently for the most part. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just, hopefully there is something like on the middle of the field, and I don't know, maybe he's sitting somewhere. I don't really know, but they're got to do something for him, because this is a very unique thing. Again, not only Arkansas and Notre Dame, but Lou Holtz being there. And I could be honest, guys, I don't know if Lou Holtz has ever been back to Arkansas. As far as I know, he's coach of South Carolina and all that, but I don't know if he's been back in a long time to go to a Razorback football game at least. So, that'll be pretty important. But you got to do those things. You got to honor the coaches, and that'll be a good one to be out there as well. So I think the atmosphere will be there. Do you guys think the crowd will at least be good? Like I believe, like better than maybe what people are saying. Oh, there's going to be no one there. It's like I still think they'll be almost packed on Saturday.
Yeah, there's zero doubt in my mind there's going to be a huge crowd there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you spent $500 on tickets, which, by the way, a lot of people did. I mean, in the summertime, you couldn't hardly find tickets to this game. There weren't many available because so many had been bought. No matter how angry you are, even if Arkansas was 0-4 and had lost to Alabama A&M, if you spent $500 on a ticket, you're probably going to go. You know what I mean? Like, unless you sell it to someone else, in which case they're probably going to go. You know what I mean? So I think it'll be over 90% attendance, honestly.
Yeah, no, I do too. I think they're going to have some things in store, and I know they're going to do some cool stuff. The weather's going to be great and everything, so I know people will be on that. But also be sure to tap in for our Inside Arkansas Football pregame show. Going to have the postgame show. Having our live stream tonight at 8 o'clock. Yes, thank you, Andrew. At 8 a.m. on Saturday, having the pregame show. And tonight we're having our live stream. Of course, listen, Razorbacks may be 2-2 in real life, but on NCAA or EA Sports College Football 26, they are undefeated. They're in the playoff hunt right now, guys. And so we'll see if they can continue it on against Notre Dame tonight. But that's happening tonight at 8 p.m. So be sure to tune in tonight for our live streams there. I can't wait to see what type of shenanigans. This might be one of the weirdest seasons of the 1.5 we've done of the EA College Football live streams, man. We've had some doozies in some games. I can't wait to see what type of shenanigans are in store tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty crazy. I don't know. I haven't played. I don't know if I played against Notre Dame on the game, so I don't know what their video game scouting report's like. But I think this is a big win. Could move to 5-0. If Arkansas ends up 9-3, 10-2 in the video game stream, do we have to play out a playoff? Right?
I think so. In some capacity, you got to give people hope. And showing that, hey, Arkansas can win a championship. If EA Sports College Football 25 says they can win a championship. They can compete for one. So, but yeah, be sure to tune in tonight, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, shenanigans are going to happen. But either way, let's get to the chats and see what all you crazies are wanting to talk about today here. Presented by our friends at Basis Health. They're changing the way healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home. A doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. It's Basis Health. They're here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org today, or you can scan that QR code or anything like that. Because, hey, shout out to our guy Dre for being a part of us here at Inside Arkansas. Also, shout out to him for the Calipari Fantasy Camp. That was a lot of fun. So really appreciate him sending the invite. All right. So, again, super chats always go first, folks. Those are the rules. Heartbroken Hog just says we should claim the 77 title and give him a ring. I guess he's talking about Lou Holtz. So, sure.
Why not? Everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, that's what the cool kids are doing these days, just claiming championships and giving rings out.
Apparently there was like some magazine that declared Arkansas the number 1 team in the country. And so they were like, let's just roll with this.
Yeah. Let's surely there's a magazine out there that'll claim Razorback the champions, 77. So that way we can, really put a stamp on it and really have it happen. So, let's see. Oh, Vids for me says happy Thursday and happy birthday to me. Love the show. Go Hawks. Happy birthday, Vids for me.
Happy birthday, Vids for me. All right. I'd say it might be pound for pound. He's probably top 2 or 3 in the chatters.
I love Andrew's like ever changing like power rankings of chatters. And it's like, sometimes we'll be like, hey, he's a top 3, 2 or 3. Hey, this guy's a top like 6 or 7. Like it's,
I mean, listen, Vids for me, I'm sure he's pissed us off at some point, but I mean, he's been in here a lot. He has the consistency, shows up every day, and rarely pisses us off. So, I mean, that's hard. Nobody checks all those boxes.
Yeah. Well, one of these days we're going to have Andrew put together his ever-changing power rankings each week for the chatters. And so you want to get on it. You'll have to be nice.
You know what, John? I might start doing that.
You should. I think you should.
Doing like a top 5. each week.
Give people something to strive for, to get on the list. Shout out to
Here's Trey, a top 25 chatter.
Yeah, he's probably top 20, 25 for sure.
Yeah, last week he was receiving votes, but this time he finally got into the top 25. Trey says, I heard Frank, he's talking about Frank Fletcher, again on the buzz this morning saying he don't wish for a change midseason. Is there anything here to read into? If Pittman loses this week, you got to make the change midseason, right? Well, I think we talked about that. Again, I just don't see any way, shape, or form, no matter what happens this weekend, of Sam Pittman getting fired in the middle of the year. Like, unless it's just absolute chaos and you lose 52-0 and get ran off your field, and Sam Pittman gets in a fight with a player on the sidelines. Like, it may be something like that, but I don't know. I just don't think that a mid-season firing to Sam Pittman is going to happen, at least given the current state.
So I don't know. So I'm not here to speak on the likelihood of what will happen. Who the hell knows with some of the decisions, and who knows what happens on the field and how it affects it. But I think that Frank Fletcher's sentiment is similar to that of the athletic department overall, which is nobody wants to fire Sam Pittman. Right. I'm not saying that they don't want the program to be great or they don't want, change and blah, blah, blah. They did not enter this year, whether it's Hunter Yurachek or anyone up there that was going in like, man, when are we going to fire Pittman? What can we do? They are trying to convince themselves they don't have to fire Pittman. So they will look for every possible reason not to fire him. I don't agree with that mentality. You guys don't agree with that mentality, but that is the reality. Like nobody enters, even if you have a coworker, even if you're a boss at Walmart and your employee sucks, you don't want to fire him. You're kind of like hoping, will this dude do anything to just get it together so I don't have to fire him? And so I think that's kind of just gives you a little bit of insight into how a lot of people, and Frank Fletcher, by the way, is one of those people in the state who has a lot of pull, has a lot of power. Nobody wants Sam Pittman to suck and get fired, including us, by the way. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, I don't think you should read too much into it, but I think people should remember that if Arkansas loses 31-27 Saturday and you're like, why is he still employed? Why is he not fired? What's going on? You're going to be here Monday being like, why is he not fired? Because they don't want to fire him. They will if they have to, and they may have to, but they don't want to fire him.
That's a great point, man. You never go into the season wondering, well, how many games will we get through before we can fire this guy? I was listening to Josh Pate's show yesterday, and one of the things that he said, he was talking about the Mike Gundy situation. He was like, I don't know, I just look at it, and when you fire a guy 3 games into a season, you just have to wonder why you even let him start the season to begin with. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it too. And especially another thing that we brought up, I don't know, we've been talking about this all week, but kind of that sentiment where it's just almost like common knowledge. It feels like behind the scenes, or it's at least the prevailing thought that a vast majority of people just are going into this year thinking, well, this is going to be Sam's last anyway. And so you go into it from that standpoint. There are just a lot of factors there. And I agree with you. Like you're not looking for a reason to do it. It just, the question is whether or not it gets to a point where you don't have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly right. And that's something that I know people want blood right now. And I'm not blaming it or making excuses for it, but I think what makes it exponentially worse is you see, and fans will see, well, Oklahoma State fired Mike Gundy, and you see these other places already fired their coaches. So what are we doing? It's not every situation's created equal. And there are some people that may have disagreed with Mike Gundy getting fired. I didn't even realize until yesterday that they didn't even allow him to speak to the team before at all, which I thought was kind of crappy.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Which is furthering now. Now it's leading. Again, I spoke about this yesterday. There's now this prevailing narrative that's coming out that's like Gundy's getting screwed here. And like, I think he should have been able to talk to the team. The dude means everything to that program. But it's like, you think that won't happen at Arkansas if they fire Sam Pittman? There won't be a few. You don't think Dan Wolken will tweet out and be like, I just think it's messed up what's going on with Sam Pittman. And then you'll have 35 people in this chat that'll be like, yeah, I think Sam Pittman is a good guy. Why did we fire him? Yeah. That kind of crap will happen if you fire him midseason. And I'm not saying that should dissuade you, but I'm just like, I want y'all to be prepared for how crazy this is about to be.
Oh, I'm already begging and waiting for when Sam Pittman even finishes the year and gets fired. The articles are going to come out. What did Arkansas expect? Like, what are y'all's expectations? You guys firing Sam Pittman? Like, what do you think? Like, who do you think you are?
He's not going to fix your problem. No, that's not going to fix. You still need money. You still need NIL. Blah, blah, blah. Like that will 100% happen.
Yeah, there were people that did that for Brett Bielema when he got fired from Arkansas. Yeah. Like just like mad. that the audacity of Arkansas to fire this man where he was averaging 5 wins a season. Like, who do you think you are? Like, that's going to happen, folks. It's going to happen. You fans are going to be looked at like these trolls, these idiots that don't know what they're doing because you just think that you're above what you are. It's going to happen. It always does. And those are the same people that probably hadn't watched a single Razorback game since Sam Pittman's been there. Like, not at
100%.
all.
And that's why I hope y'all know we are going to be your knights in shining armor during that time period who will correct the course nationally and say, no, this was the right decision. This was a no-brainer that we all saw coming. But a lot of times people that don't pay attention to things see things happen and then all of a sudden have an opinion about it. That's what's happening with the Mike Gundy situation. People who have not watched Oklahoma State for 2 years have no idea that Oklahoma State went 3-9 last year, that now have an opinion about this. Same will happen with Sam Pittman, and this is why you need us.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, we're going to be the ones that when all that happens, we're just going to go, no. And then we're going to make it happen. We're going to give you the real scoops. So, but yeah, it sucks. It's just going to be what it is. But fans, you should be used to it by now because people are constantly outside the state of Arkansas telling you what you should expect every time. Evan says, reminds me of the Ty Washington stuff last year. Ironically, who we play this week. Again, when he was talking about the Brilen Russell situation and all of that.
He's done nothing over there, right?
I think Sam said he caught 3 passes this year. I don't know when he caught them or how he caught them or what that looked like, but he's been not a huge factor.
I thought the grass was greener over at Notre Dame. Let's see. He's got 3 catches. Yeah, 3 catches for 19 yards.
That a boy.
Here you go. But of course, that probably means he's going to ball out tomorrow. Of course, I don't know. Like, did the guys at Ole Miss? None of them really did anything of note, right? The former Arkansas players for Ole Miss.
Yeah, hasn't done anything.
The one balling out is Satania.
Yeah, and
Satania's been good. I think Satania's like. I actually saw SEC Mike put out a graphic that had the SEC receiver leaders, and he had Satania with an Arkansas logo by him. And it's like,
nice.
Yeah. I did see that. Yeah. In fact, Satania's over here cheating, doing illegal plays and whatnot. So, that's helping him out. Shout out to our guy Gibb, who created our intro. He says Pitt is 7-19 in one possession. He said Scott Frost's record in 1-score games was 5-22. So
good pull.
Yeah.
God, it's a little too close for comfort there. Because we think it's a narrative for Sam. Like, I mean, it was crazy with Scott Frost there, and he's just got a 2-game lead on him. So,
dude, speaking of people that get fired and then people do a fake feeling sorry for him thing, y'all remember that video that went viral of Scott Frost? Because he went to Nebraska, I believe, and he was like sliding down. There was like these stairs, and they had like a little thing, and he like slid down them like kind of like a kid does. And people were like, "Man, it's crazy. This guy loves Nebraska. Look how much he loves Nebraska," and y'all fired him. People do that crap anywhere. By the way, Scott Frost kind of balling out at UCF.
He put it on Chapel Bill over the weekend.
He did the Petrino, just went right back to the place. Like, you tried to get a cooler job, you tried to make that work, and then it blew up, and then you just go back to the place that had you before.
And see, I feel like that has happened so much more often these days than ever before. Like, and again, maybe I'm just living in the moment, but of coaches, even players going back to where they started or where they had. Obviously, you mentioned Petrino, but Petrino's done it now twice. He did it at Louisville and he did it here. And then you got, Scott Frost doing it. AJ Green on Arkansas's team did it. Jimmy Witt, so it's just a common thing these days to jump back to the place that you once started at. Shout out to Quinn for the super chat. Appreciate you, Quinn. As from an outsider's perspective, y'all should go after 1, Fran Brown, see if he would be interested. 2, Kurt Signetti, see if he would be. And then 3, Alex Galesh. So,
my thoughts on I love Fran Brown. Like, I would be all for that. I just doesn't strike me as he seems like more of an East Coast guy. Maybe I'm crazy, but he seems like he's in a good spot where he's at there. Like maybe just in that region. I don't know. It would be sick if they got him because I love him. Signetti's too old. Who was the other one? Oh, Golish. I like him a lot.
So, fun fact. Y'all ready for this? I have a board on my phone. I have a preliminary board, but I'm not posting it. It's not official. You guys are not going to see this board anytime soon. I have 8 names currently, subject to change. We'll see how it adds, but all 3 of these guys are on my initial preliminary board. Signetti, so he's 65, so that is old. I also don't think he would be interested in the Arkansas job, if I'm being honest with you. I think he's probably going to be a bigger candidate at Florida, and honestly, who knows if he'll go or not. I think if Arkansas could get Signetti, I think they should sell their soul to do it. I also think if they could get Fran Brown, which I'm with you, he's a Jersey guy, I believe, like born and raised in Jersey. Right. Now he's at Syracuse and knows that region. I think part of why he got the Syracuse job is because of how tapped in he is with that region. But he also, coached at Georgia. So I'm sure there's part of him that's like, hey, the SEC is where I want to be. I don't know, but he would, if Arkansas could get him, would 1,000% be a candidate. And I think Golish should 100% be a candidate if and when that time comes.
I was not aware. Maybe you guys were that Golish was born in Moscow.
Yeah, he's a Russian boy.
I don't know if you want.
He's got a fascinating background. He's an interesting guy. Like I think that obviously he's doing a great job at USF. The more I look into him, the more I'm like, interesting cat. Like just got a weird path. That is, I mean, he's been around some really good minds as well. So you never know.
Yeah, I just don't know if you want any of them communists coming over here to coach football for Arkansas. Is all I'm saying.
Well, he's a converted communist.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and also people are, of course, going to bring up like John Summerall. Again, names are going to get thrown around all the time. So
hey, super chat it. We'll read it.
That's right. Super chat it, and it always gets read. We promise. Let's see. Also, Hickory Hawk says it's just hard to see a world where they win this game. We cannot stop the run in the fourth quarter. Depth, conditioning, talent, whatever it is. That if there is a winning drive to be had, they will not stop it.
Boy, Jeremiah Love in that fourth quarter.
Oh my goodness.
It's going to be hard to tackle. That dude is good, man. It is weird early. Now, obviously they played Miami week 1. So that's, Miami's defense is playing at such a high level. I remember watching that week 1 game and being like, damn, surprised Notre Dame wasn't really able to establish the run. And, Jeremiah Love
carries. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. And then since then, Jeremiah Love has been doing Jeremiah Love stuff.
This is kind of ramble when we were talking about it. Do you guys think that Brilen gets a lot more carries, a lot more looks this weekend?
I don't know, man. I feel bad for him. I do. I feel bad for Brilen. Yeah. And I know we were all frustrated with that situation. And a lot of folks, me included, were kind of frustrated with him during portal season last year. Cause it's like, bro, what are we doing? But, and I'm not questioning anybody's ability to be a father or anything like that. But like when you see situations like that, you kind of understand what makes people tick and everything. And it's a tough situation. And I don't envy being in Brilen Russell's spot. That's brutal, man. And, his dad, at the end of the day, he just wants what's best for his kid. And he's going to go to bat for him and everything like that. But that kind of stuff does put Brilen in a tough situation, at practice amongst your teammates with the staff and everything like that. And I don't think that Bobby Petrino or Sam Pittman or anybody over there should be holding that against Brilen. And nor do I think that they will, but you can't tell me it doesn't make it awkward, man.
Mm.
Yeah, as we learned with Nathan and Dan Scott, Curtis, you can't always hold the kid responsible for what his, over the top father may be doing.
Yeah.
And so I
wonder if somebody understood that reference in the chat. And if they did, they're ball knowers. Okay, good job.
Yeah, and seriously, like I've never interacted with Brilen, but from my very limited just seeing him outside, like I don't see anything wrong with Brilen. Like I don't see him doing anything crazy. He had that really cool day in the live video. I really enjoyed that. He seems like a normal guy, and he's a solid player. Like I would love to just separate his dad from the conversation. The funniest part about this whole DJ Williams thing that blew up is that we all focused on the, Brilen Russell's dad getting upset and that whole back and forth, and then DJ's response. The initial thing was DJ basically making the case of like, hey, this is why he didn't play in the second half, because he messed up on this one little run here. He misread the thing at the line of scrimmage, which I think is not a good enough reason to bench a guy for the second half, in my opinion. And so nobody's really talking about that. I think it's going to be interesting. I think you have to play him a little bit more. Sam said on Monday, they've talked about it. They need to play him more. Like they acknowledge they made a mistake. So for everybody that's doing the thing of like, oh, well, he only got benched because of this, Sam Pittman admitted on Monday that they made a mistake. They should not have done that. So I bet he gets a few more, but I bet this dad situation certainly did not help.
No, it's just weird. It's just very weird right now for that. Jamer's time, whichever. Notre Dame will have more grit and determination than us. Their playoff chances are on the line. No way they don't put a belt to a Astro. Well,
this is what I keep coming back to, man, because I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it here, but this mental pretzel of, wow, man, Arkansas is on the verge of, getting rid of their coach 5 games into a season versus a Notre Dame team fresh off the playoff that's got their backs against the wall, like in wounded animal mode here. And I just don't know how we can feel the way that we feel about the state of Arkansas's football program while also looking at it and going, yeah, but Arkansas could actually beat Notre Dame this weekend. But it's kind of the reality of the situation. It's one of those, I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know how to feel type of deals. Everything about this is just wonky, man. It's a weird situation, start to finish, top to bottom.
So I'm a big proponent of the hungry dog runs faster. And so anytime I'm like looking at the board for college football, I'm always kind of looking for some upsets where you might have a team that is high and mighty and feeling good about themselves versus a team that desperately needs a win. And I'm kind of leaning towards. So like, for instance, if Notre Dame were 3-1 or 4-0 and they were feeling great, and maybe they pulled out that A&M game, maybe they had lost to Miami, pulled out that A&M game, and they're 3-1, beat the shit out of Purdue, and you're kind of like, okay, Notre Dame's figured it out. They're headed to the playoff. I would have my eye on Arkansas because I'd say, man, Arkansas's the hungry dog here. They're going to be scratching, clawing, fighting. They might be the one here. What I think we have, though, is two hungry dogs and a fat steak thrown on the ground. And it's like, someone's got to go get it. I just don't think Arkansas has that in them to like beat out another hungry dog that's actually good and actually talented for that steak on the ground. Like, I really don't think they are going to dig deep. Like when it gets to be nut cutting time, I think Notre Dame is going to rise to that circumstance. And I just don't know for sure. I'm not saying Arkansas can't. I'm not saying, they're incapable of beating good teams or they're incapable of winning games. I just like, you kind of have to go out there and earn that. And Notre Dame also has to do it because they haven't won a close game yet this year. But I just feel like when it gets down to it, I don't know if I necessarily think Notre Dame's going to put belt to ass, but I think when this game is going to be decided, which may be third quarter, maybe fourth quarter, maybe first quarter, I just feel like Notre Dame is going to rise to the occasion and Arkansas is going to shy away and make an excuse. Yeah.
Well, again, one school believes that they can win a national championship and the other school's told that they can't. So, I mean,
the other schools had that thought shut down by the boss. So,
yes.
I mean, when you think about it from that perspective, there are a lot more stakes in this game for Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, if Arkansas loses, what's another loss for them? But for Notre Dame, that would be the end of their season.
Yeah, essentially it would be. We'll get to more of your chats, folks, but we also got to get into our heavy hitters here on Inside Arkansas Live. And as a reminder, HD Roofing and Construction is our official sponsor here of our heavy hitters. We know that storms can happen unexpectedly. I mean, good grief. This past week, we've had some pretty nasty ones come through the state of Arkansas. And some of you may be thinking, man, I need to make sure my roof's good to go, because if your roof is not good to go, it's going to be pretty detrimental to your home, to your possessions, to you yourself. And you don't want to deal with that. So make sure that your roof is good to go with HD Roofing. They will give you a free inspection and give you that peace of mind. And they'll come out and tell you, hey, your roof's great. You don't need any sort of repair or new roof. Or they'll come out and say, you need to repair this right now, or else there's going to be some major problems. They're going to be honest with you. You're going to tell you exactly what you need. And that's what separates them from the rest of them. They have professionalism, top quality materials, and expert installation. So give them a call today at 501-428-0429. That's 501-428-0429. And you can also check out their website at hdarkansas.com. It's HD Roofing and Construction, the official sponsor of our heavy hitters here on Inside Arkansas. Okay, so for our heavy hitters, got a few of them here that I wanted to bring up. Did you guys see, I don't know if you've watched here, maybe you saw the trailer, the deal with the Lane Kiffin documentary that they're doing on Netflix? They've released some clips, and there's a really interesting clip in there where Lane Kiffin's daughter essentially is what kept Lane Kiffin from taking the Auburn job, because I would have played the clip, but we'd get knocked with it. But essentially what she was saying is that she got to move closer and actually be around Lane a lot more because, of course, there was a divorce and all that. So he got to live with him. And it was in Oxford. And it was a matter of like, she really liked Oxford and liked living there. And the Auburn job was coming up and he was looking to take it. And she's like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave here. She made a slideshow apparently that gave a rundown and made to really sad music. And she's even saying, she's like, I know he would be really sad hearing this song to this thing. And then after that, he decided to stay in Oxford. And I was like, man, could you imagine being an Auburn fan and be like, you little jerk? It's like, you kept us from having Lane Kiffin there. But the thing is that it was actually pretty cool and actually pretty interesting. I can't wait to watch the documentary, but it is pretty amazing how, something like that, I don't know if that was actually the full reason, but something like that can really have an impact and make a difference in how, sorry, Quinn, Auburn, you could have had Lane Kiffin if it just wasn't for his daughter being so loving and charitable and making a slideshow for him. So it could have happened to you. But I just can't wait for that documentary. My heavy hitter is her because she got her way. She got her way in it. And Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss are doing some big things right now.
And now she's in the Bayou.
Yep.
Just in the Bayou. Did y'all see Lane Kiffin's quote, by the way, on Whit Weeks?
Yeah.
It was he downplayed it is what he did.
Yeah,
he gave a basically just like, oh yeah, Whit, he's a great kid, comes from a good family. Happy that they're happy. That has no impact on this game whatsoever. After hearing that, I am now convinced more than ever that Lane Kiffin has like 4 packages prepared for Whit Weeks.
Yes, dude.
Because art of war, you don't let your opponent know. Like if he came out there and was like, oh yeah, he better watch out. Oh yeah, then I would kind of think, all right, yeah, he is just kind of messing with them, trolling. The fact that he downplayed it makes me like I'm more confident more than ever. There will be one huge play in this game where a running back runs a wheel route against Whit Weeks and beats him over the top. Like they are going to go right at him. I know. I'm more confident than ever.
Do you feel like Lane Kiffin would be the worst coach in the SEC to be dating their daughter and you play for an opposing team? Like would that be the one? Would he be the most vindictive and like make you pay for it? I feel like Kirby Smart might be that guy. I feel like Kirby Smart would be a guy that's like, I hate you and I'm going to ruin your day. But
I wouldn't want to compete against Kirby Smart in any context, whether I was dating his daughter or whether like he's just not the guy I want to go against. But yeah, I think those are probably up there. I feel like Mike Leach, call me crazy. Now, obviously, God rest his soul. Back in the day, I feel like he would have been the guy, especially from a schematic standpoint. He would have definitely been like, let me find some type of formation, some type of look where I can get this kid isolated.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel like if it was Brian Kelly, he would just like be like, hey, don't be dating my daughter when you're on the other team. That's wrong. Come on.
Again. I
just think be whining about it the whole time. So I don't know. But either way, that's at least one of my heavy hitters for today.
Well done. I like it. Mine's easy. It's my wife, Michelle. It's her birthday.
Hey,
happy birthday. Michelle, happy birthday. Yeah, it's crazy. That's just September for us, man. Anniversary, new baby, birthday. We did bust in the room at it was I was on Wesley duty. We busted in the room at midnight to sing Michelle happy birthday. I don't know if she cared for that much, because sleep is precious around these parts, but we did it, and then he was hungry, so I just left him with her, and then I went to sleep. But
see, hey, that's brilliant by Curtis, because here's the thing: if he would have gone in there without Wesley, she would have murdered him. But it's like no, the baby's singing with you too. She couldn't get mad about that. So that's brilliant artwork right there.
Exactly.
Well, Curtis, I hope y'all have a great time at dinner tonight, and I hope y'all live it up. And I hope Michelle, I know she's listening, or I assume she's listening. I hope she enjoys this birthday, because as the years go on, her birthday is going to get swept right under the rug. Like nobody's going to care, especially with Wesley's birthday being like 3 weeks ago. It's like, dude, when Wesley's 6, there is nobody where y'all are going to have the big celebration for Wesley, and Michelle's going to get left out in the cold. And so I feel bad for her. So I hope that y'all can enjoy this birthday, because Wesley isn't going to demand the attention. I mean, he'll demand attention in different ways, but is not going to dominate the birthday this year.
We'll do our best.
Well, my heavy hitter, I don't have anything crazy, but mine, the Seattle Mariners catcher, who of course, by the way, the Seattle Mariners have ruined the Astros season. We're actually not going to make the playoffs, and I don't know what to do. I'm like actually really upset about it, and I screamed last night. I screamed about the Astros last night, and Hillary was upset about it. But I'm upset about that. But I got to give credit where it's due, man. Their catcher Cal Raleigh has hit 60 home runs. 60 home runs. And look, so there's a whole debate going on, because it looks like it's coming down to him and Aaron Judge for MVP. And if you look at the numbers, Aaron Judge hasn't hit 60 home runs. I think he's got like 53 or something like that. But he's hitting like 330, OPS through the roof, on base through the roof, like, leads all the categories. And Cal Raleigh has more home runs. And so everyone is harping on that of like, oh, just because he has more home runs, he's going to win MVP, blah, blah, blah. He's a catcher hitting home runs. I mean, the record before, if I'm not mistaken, the record before was Salvador Perez, shout out to the Royals, with 48. And This dude has now hit 60 home runs as a catcher. And I don't even think he's that great behind the plate, but the fact that you're catching every day for 155 games, that's insane. Like that really is like superhuman type stuff. I'm sure he's on HGH or something, because he had never hit more than like 27 home runs before, and now all of a sudden he hit 60. But I'm all for it, man. I think that's awesome, and credit to the Mariners, man. They earned it.
Yeah.
So it's Houston for sure. Are they eliminated, or you're
They're
just
not
saying
eliminated? They're a game back from the wild card, but the problem is they've lost 5 straight games. Which this time of year, not a good time to lose 5 straight games when you're when you're right in this mix. So they're a game back at Detroit, who also keeps kind of pooping their pants. Scooble lost the other night, which was huge. But we literally broke the MLB record for most IL stints.
Oh.
Nobody in MLB history has ever had more players put on the IL than the Houston Astros this year.
I was just going to give a shot because I feel like old boy for the Mariners, he's probably going to be on the Dodgers next year. So just be on the lookout.
Yeah. Him at catcher, Freeman at first base. Yeah, they'll.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, because I was giving my buddy, who you guys know, Brennan, he's a Dodgers fan. It was just like, apparently, he says the Dodgers are terrible this year, but yet they're still going to win the NL West. I'm like, shut up.
Shohei quietly is like put together a season that literally no one's ever done. like a season of like X amount of home runs, X amount of RBIs, X amount of strikeouts. And he didn't even pitch for the whole year, but like he quietly had a historically great season that no one's talking about.
Yeah, no, he did. Another little like random one for a heavy hitter today. I don't know if you guys were a fan of Spaceballs, but apparently they're making a Spaceballs too. And they put out like a picture of like all of them back together, and it's just kind of weird. But I'm like, I don't know, like sequels, as we know, pretty terrible most of the time, or at least not as good. I'll probably give it a shot, but that makes me happy. I was like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Believe it or not, never seen Spaceballs.
Wow.
And I don't think I ever will. I'm not anti, but like, I feel like it's making fun of Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
So if you're making fun of my guys, even if it's happy and lighthearted. Family Guy, did y'all watch those episodes? The Family Guy Star Wars thing, that was good, and they were kind of making fun of it too. But that was, I liked that. But I've never watched Spaceballs because when I was a kid, I was like, they're making fun of it. Can't watch it. And as an adult, I've just kept that mentality.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand it. But it's more of a parody, I guess. But still, yeah. I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world if that ends up happening. And also, too, I guess the Arkansas-Cincinnati exhibition game has officially been tabbed the CareSource Invitational Supporting Mental Health. So that game happening, of course, in Arkansas and Cincinnati. It's almost ironic because, part of that Cal Perry Fantasy Camp, one of the big sponsors was CareSource. It's almost like there's a connection, something like that there. But either way.
I think, was the Kansas exhibition through them last year?
It may have been, actually, now that I'm thinking.
I know it was for like the proceeds going towards mental health and stuff. And I think that's what this is too. I don't remember if it's the same group or not, but
yeah. I mean, it probably is. I feel like they'll probably stick with it, but I guess these tickets go on sale in 6 days for those of you wanting to do it. How much do you think they'll be? Probably like $20, $15, something like that.
I don't know.
I don't remember what it was last year. I got to say, though, that Kansas exhibition last year was maybe the best atmosphere they had at Bud Walton the entire season. Is that crazy to say?
No,
I think
crazy to say.
And the reason why it's cool is because we always complain about the season ticket holders and all that. They have no bearing on this game. Mm-hmm. Is it the same situation there where like they're just selling tickets for this? And so, you might have actual fans in the lower bowl. Could be fun.
Yeah. No, I think it will be. I look forward to it.
And also, if you can't go, it'll be on SEC Network Plus, and that's good too.
That is good.
And I can't wait for people to ask, hey, what channel is the game on tonight? It's like SEC Network Plus.
Yeah.
Like it's just at these day and time, folks, like don't ever ask people if the game's on or what channel it's on. You got Google. You just, in every game in the SEC, more often than not, is going to be on the ESPN app. So just check there. I guess the 1-1 is the CBS game against Duke, right? That's on CBS this year? Is Duke?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving?
Okay. Yeah. Besides that, it'll be pretty much always on there. So.
Cal owns Thanksgiving at this point.
CBS picked that game up too?
Did they?
I thought so.
Oh, yep. You're right. They did.
Yeah. Because it's the same day as it's a crazy set. It's Kentucky St. John's, it's Arkansas Houston. And there was one more game that was stupid. I actually retweeted a Kentucky fan last night because it was like the Dragons, the 3 Dragons, and it's like 2 of them are badass dragons and one of them's goofy. I think it was like North Carolina, Ohio State was the third one. It was like, which one of these is not like the others? But yeah, it's a big day there, and it's on CBS. So
yeah, and or on Paramount Plus, if that's what you prefer, will be on Paramount Plus and another streaming service that you can add to the mix. Hey, speaking of Razorback basketball and just basketball in general, I just saw this graphic and I thought it was fun just to kind of flex on it a little bit too. and bring it up. But it was just like who had the most NCAA tournament wins in the 2020s, and Arkansas is right there at I guess tied for 6th. You want to call it that? So
It's good.
If you want to flex, Razorback fans, there you go. I don't see certain teams on there though. Weird.
It's weird.
Dude, that's crazy that I guess they only have 2?
3, I think.
3?
I think they won 1 with Cal and then 2 this year. So
almost as many as Nellie Davis. Wow.
Exactly.
almost.
Nellie's got what, 6?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. Almost as much as Devo. Let's see. So you have SEC teams wise, Bama leading the way at 11. Then you have Arkansas at 10, Tennessee at 9, Florida at 7, which all came like this year.
Yeah, sheesh, all but one. That's right.
Yeah.
By the way, Arkansas's got theirs respectable where obviously I know there's some other teams that fit this criteria. Arkansas has like multiple in several years.
Mhm.
Like that's a legit 10. That's not a that's skewed because they had that 1 year. It's like,
Right.
hey, that's 10
Yeah,
wins.
it was 3-3, 2-2. So yeah, good on them.
Is there any team on this that just really surprises you, whether it's high or low? Of like, because I'll tell you mine.
Miami.
Like mine was going to be Texas because I'm like, because I obviously that's the reality, but I was just never thought of like Texas would be ahead of other teams not on this list. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just never would have pictured them that. But they did have Chris Beard for a split second. So
That's true. That's a good
Did
call.
Miami have
Andrew.
a run, like a Final Four run?
They did.
That's what it
UConn's
is.
first championship. Miami was in that Final Four.
Gotcha. So they got like 5 wins in 1 year, and that's what's skewing this thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, Miami hasn't been good in several years.
I mean, Houston, I'm not surprised that they have 16 or whatever, but it's crazy that they have as many as they do and they haven't won one yet. I know they came very close last year. That's tough on Kelvin Sampson, man.
Yeah. If we're
Yeah,
using the baseball criteria, that is a bad thing for Houston.
Yeah.
The fact that they have won so many NCAA tournament games and not won a title, it's bad.
because if I've been in the math correctly, that's an average of what, a little over 3 wins per NCAA tournament for Houston. I mean, that's like pretty much Sweet 16, Elite 8, no matter what, guaranteed.
Shout out to Purdue for having 9. Like 1 year you get bounced by a 16 seed and you're still at 9. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. But yeah, that didn't really see like some of these teams. It's funny because it was just like 1 year. Like Florida, they literally won 6 games this past year. So that's how they jumped up there. But like UCLA is another team where I'm like, yeah, I guess so. I guess they've had some pretty decent years. I'm just pissed that Arkansas they were leading the way for a bit, but not anymore. Bama overtook them this past year.
Was UCLA in the Final Four at the bubble? Or the Elite 8 at least? They made it at least as far as Arkansas did.
They were in the Final Four because I believe that's who
Gonzaga beat them.
Yes.
And they were like a 10 seed, weren't they?
Yeah, it's crazy. They might have even been in like the play-in or something. It was really kind of an impressive run or like an improbable run.
You know what's crazy? I'm just looking at Maryland. You know what Maryland, and this is, y'all can look this up. This is a fact. Every single year of NCAA basketball going back to 1973, every single year, Maryland has been a 5 seed and lost in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Every single year.
That's brutal.
They've never made a run. It's crazy. They're always in the tournament. Like they're always good. They're always there. They never make a run. They're like St. Mary's-esque in that way, Curtis.
They are. That's a great comp, actually. I felt a little bit bad for Maryland last year because they had like the Crab 5 and it was a cool story and they were really good. Remember when we were in San Francisco and they were there and they were getting ready to play Florida? Nobody cared because it was all about Kevin Willard getting the hell out of there. And man, does he already have this Villanova job? He's fighting with his AD and everything. That's tough. I don't want Arkansas fans to experience that, man. You're in a Sweet 16 with an opportunity to keep advancing. To Andrew's point, for the first time, like doing something cool in a while, and you can't even get jacked up to play Florida because your coach is a DB.
Yeah, that is rough. I actually, by the way, real quick to correct myself, I forgot there was no tournament in 2020. So Houston's average is literally 4 wins at NCAA tournament. Like they average winning 4. That's insane. It's absolutely.
By the way, I have it on great authority from producer Cameron that Arkansas plays 9 of these teams.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's true. It is true.
Duke, Bama, Tennessee, Florida, Auburn twice.
He played Baylor last year. There you go. You can throw that one in there.
Texas.
Yeah. And Yeah, I don't know. I just thought this was pretty interesting little list there, and gives something to flex on, Razorback fans. Something to flex on. Got to make that final. What in the world? Got to make that Final Four here. But yeah, something really to look forward to at some point in time. So, all right, we'll get some of your chats, folks, before we close up shop here. And a reminder: tomorrow, Alumni Hall, we'll be there. So come hang out with us from 12 to 2, and get ready for the Razorback football game. To get your game gear, they you get 20% off. Use the code HOGS by 20 there, and we're looking forward to having that type of fun. And we may even stick intern Cameron back behind us awkwardly again, as we talked about. May have to have that happen again. So, all right. So some other chats here. Oh, shout out to Quinn, another super chat. Says, I was okay with getting freeze. Lane would have been cool, but to have, but I wasn't pissed that we got freeze. So that's fair.
Yeah. In the moment, people were pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Freeze was a guy that when he got hired at Auburn, I think we were all like, oh yeah, he'll do a good job there.
Yeah. It's just, and I still think that he can coach. I still think he's decent, but Auburn, they got a high expectation over there too.
I mean, hey, they're not bad this year. They're really not.
No. Heartbroken Hog says Arkansas will have 16 NCAA tournaments after this season. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. That'll be cool.
The way that sounds.
Yeah. How about 7? How about they get in the play-in game and they win 7?
That would be the Arkansas way to get it done.
No, I don't
wildly disappointing regular season, and
I don't want that. I don't want that.
I can't believe you just said that.
I know. I shouldn't have.
11 seed, dude. Honestly, if I could guarantee that Arkansas would win, obviously, if I could guarantee the very unlikely circumstances, but that would be the funniest way for Arkansas to win the title. Is Cal being 11 seed, so that Kentucky fans would have been chirping them all year, and then 11 seed just wins out.
Dude, I think I know I was kind of low key almost rooting for a play-in game last year in Dayton, because you're like, dude, we get to go to Dayton, this could be kind of cool and unique. But I mean, I'd still, no, don't do that. Just, you know what? Be that 1 seed, and then you can go to Oklahoma City. It's close by. And then, we'll go from there. Just do that. And then that way everything's enjoyable.
I mean, listen, I'm a Houston Texans fan. I brag about playoff wins all the time. All of them have come in the wild card round, literally all of them. And it's every single year they win exactly one, and it's in the wild card round. There's something too, just getting into the game where you get an easy win and, counting that as an NCAA tournament win. I think there's value there.
Mm-hmm. Hey, our Cats by 90 guy says you left Kentucky off the list of what? The list that we just showed?
The list.
Yeah, you got to win games to get on the list, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just it's kind of crazy, man, that, the coach that only won 1 NCAA tournament game at your place since the 2020s has won 2 over here in a year. Wild.
Well, at least Mark Pope had so many.
That's right.
Hey, at least Mark Pope has so many NCAA tournament wins before Kentucky. So at least he's a big game coach.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. And I know that what was it? He got blown out by a team he beat twice this year too. That's a rough look. Letting Tennessee regular season Rick beat you to go further in the tournament. Cal would never allow that to happen. Let's see. This chat always cracks me up. Jose is saying, Coach Pittman definitely does not deserve all this negativity. I just wish he would have been the one to make the decision last season to leave while opinions of him were still okay. I agree with 75% of this chat.
Yeah.
I agree with, you should have made a change last year if you were going to, because it was going to be at least a lot better of a lasting impression, I think Razorback fans have, which I know the season's not over yet now, but certainly people are upset. If that would have been that, it would have been viewed a little bit differently. And as far as one to make the decision would have been nice, but deserve all the negativity, dude, it's what you sign up for. Unfortunately, you're a head coach of a major program. When you're not winning, you're the one that's going to get it. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Do people not remember us saying this exact thing last year? In the moment last year, as the season was ending, this was kind of the argument we made of hey, if the Pittman tenure ended now, which was, in December, it would have been a net positive tenure. We all would have remembered him fairly fondly and been like, you know what? He took over the program at a bad time. He made it better. He moved on. We're all good. But they didn't want to go that direction. But I wish at some point somebody would be like, man, you guys were right.
Well, again, I don't know if Jose was saying that in general,
I don't think he was either.
Us, but yeah, it was
Jose's one of our guys.
Yeah, and Andrew, no one's going to say that. It's never going to happen. So it's just the way it is. Also, shout out to our guy Gibb. He said, "Pot at the Palace got me hyped this morning talking about everybody's gains."
Yeah, we had a nice 15-minute segment just kind of making fun of the guys and talking about that team photo. It's really my favorite pastime. Anytime we get a team pick, we lead off the pot at the Palace with it. I was particularly endeared with Elmer Zaffich. Comes over from Europe, and he's been in Arkansas for a month or whatever, and he's got that nice, slick farmer's tan going on, kind of like me right now. I respect that, man. The sun hits a little bit different over here. He looked good.
Also, I guess Kingsley was saying something similar. He's like, I get that we need to do what we do as a program, but I'm not opposed to that at all. But man, I just hate to see all the personal attacks on Sam. That has nothing to do with football. Anybody that's personally attacking Sam is, that's wrong. Like, it's one thing to be critical of his record and his coaching, but any personal attacks, that's wrong for anybody. No matter what.
It's wrong. It's like, I'm not justifying it here, but it does come with the territory. We get attacked personally every day.
Yep.
So, like it sucks and it doesn't feel good and you don't like it. And it definitely ramps up when things are going bad, but
Yeah.
There's definitely a section of the fan base that seems to like really revel in stuff like this. And it's with any coach. I mean, I see people like celebrate when Dave Van Horn loses. I see people celebrate, obviously, when Cal loses. A lot of people do. It does seem like there are some fans that really do enjoy the opportunity to say mean things and make it personal. But I'm with you guys in terms of it comes with the territory of being the highest paid state employee. It's like, yeah, you're a lot of eyeballs, a lot of opinions, a lot of things said. But I'm with you. I don't like when it gets like personal, because I don't think anybody should like have a personal vendetta against Sam Pittman. Honestly,
no.
Like, I think you can be disappointed and be like, hey, I think he sucks as a coach, but like as the person, like I don't really have any reason to be like, yeah, screw that guy.
And it doesn't justify people saying, nasty things about him on a personal front, but he doesn't help his case by blocking half the fan base on social media. And then every time he gets the opportunity, throwing him under the bus and blaming the fans or media or whoever for his recruiting being dog shit. So,
Yeah. And then that's
true.
Yeah. That's the thing with also like, if people see that something bothers you enough to where you have a reaction, people are going to continue that reaction and continue to do that, whether it's right or wrong. But again, it's unfortunate. Hey, if you want to see some hate, just look at the tweet I posted yesterday when I was at the Cal camp. You want to see some really nasty stuff. See what the Missouri fans, for some random reason, getting into my mentions, were saying. It happens. You just got to roll with the punches. You just got to roll with the punches. Let's see. A few more here. SET said, was that a One Tree Hill reference? I assume to the comment.
It was a One Tree Hill reference. Good job. I saw SCT. I saw Kingsley caught on there. So yeah, well done.
I had no idea what you guys were talking about. So I'm glad somebody did. I thought you were talking about the weatherman at first.
John, you gave off One Tree Hill vibes with your fantasy camp photos. So
what does that mean?
You just got to watch the series, I guess.
Just put on HBO Max, man, and get to work.
I have a feeling that's
150 episodes to get through.
I have a feeling that's just going to make me mad if I see that reference or whatever. It's going.
I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. Trey says, "I'm glad I'm moving up in the rankings. Would be top 10, but it's just so hot outside. The heat is real."
Yeah, man, I get it.
You know what? That's one thing that if Sam Pittman gets let go again, I'm not going to have any like horrible hatred towards him or anything. But it is going to be one of those things I'm going to remember. So many of the things I'm like, no coach should say or no coach should bring up, but constantly did get brought up, whether it was like rev share or the heat or, like how many times he's like, we got, love the team because they're good kids and, or, the injuries that were not actual injuries or injuries that he says weren't injuries, but they were injuries. Like just the stuff that just never like just things he said, man. Just things
he did end his his little opening statement on the teleconference by saying the weather's going to be nice. So
it's true.
That is nice. The Sam Pittman excuse thing reminds me, I'm not going to name his name, but we have a buddy. All the three of us have a mutual friend who he used to complain all the time about doing normal husband and dad activities. I got to go pick up my daughter from school. Oh, I got to go buy diapers. Oh, I got to. And like, I get it. Like those things are hard to deal with. I'm not downplaying that. And Curtis, it's hard to be a father, but everything he complained about was just like normal dad activities. You know what I mean? Like, It's like you can complain about it. And I'm not saying you don't have a just case. Like it sucks losing sleep. It sucks having to take your kid places. It sucks having to go to soccer practice. But I'm like, that's exactly like, if you didn't want to do any of that stuff, you probably should have just not had a kid. Right. And that's kind of how I feel when I hear Sam Pittman complain. And people, by the way, buy all these excuses. They're like, well, I mean, we just don't have any D linemen. I'm like, yeah, but that's like part of what you need in football. well, I mean, we just, our safeties suck. Well, you need safeties in football. It's like, well, we just we don't have money to pay our players. Well, you need money to pay players. Like, these are all things that are normal, everyday you need, and everyone else has them and tries to use them. Like, you can't use the rules of the game that you're playing being like, well, the only reason Kentucky beat us is because they made more threes. I mean, it's like, well, the 3-point line was there. You had the opportunity. It's like, I don't think it's fair to complain about things that are just normal, everyday facets of what you're doing.
Yeah, when everybody has the same advantages and disadvantages. Shout out to Quinn for another super chat. He says it has to do with people's mental health. Hurt people. It's not right, but it's a mental health issue. So, well, I can tell you this, Quinn. Looking at your social media, my man, I know you get after
pain, brother.
Yeah, you don't put up with any of that nonsense. So, shout out to you, man. You don't let anything get by. And I'm not saying that you hurt people. I'm just saying you don't put up with crap. Is all I'm saying.
Auburn's got A&M this weekend, I think.
Yes.
Quinn, you should have a field day with those guys.
They're easy.
I mean,
we're all in your corner for this one. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yes, absolutely. Also, I just real quick for you, I want to address this because I got a lot of this. Mike was always so mad and yelling in the chat. He says, John never took that fantasy camp a little too serious. Look at those socks he was rocking. Guys, the socks that I was wearing were not like a choice. I thought we were supposed to wear all the apparel that they gave us. So those were part of it. And then when I walked out there and I saw no one else wearing them, I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to be that guy today. That's why. I did not wear them because I thought they looked cool or anything. I just thought that was what we were supposed to do. So just wanted to address that. Like somebody said, it looked like Nick Van Exel. I was like, wow, that is like way back when. Like Nick Van Exel. That's crazy.
We were catching some Malik Ewan strays too. He fancies those socks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, like, Nick Pringle randomly liked every one of the posts that I had on social media. So I was like, hey, that was my coach.
I was going to say, how was he motivating?
He was. Like, it was
like
funny. Him and Carter, I don't know what the other guys were in the other huddles, but Nick Pringle and Carter, man, they were getting after it. And then it was Billy. We played against Billy's team, and man, they were both just not surprising. They were talking mad nonsense, like crazy nonsense. And like almost like the referees, this was the first year apparently. They usually bring in like college NBA referees. These were just like, I could tell these were just volunteers, and there were some calls that were going on, and like it was chaos at times. So, but it was fun. It's
pretty good.
Quinn, appreciate super chat again. He says A&M fans are a nice fan base online for the most part. Yes, they're culty, but nothing like Oklahoma fans. I feel like everybody just has a fun fan base right now, but they're nothing like this. And I'm like, I don't even know if I've had a run-in with an Oklahoma fan, but then again, Arkansas hasn't played Oklahoma much in sports. So.
I don't guess I've had a run-in with an A&M fan either. Now that I think about it, he kind of has a point.
I have in person. That was only 2 times I've almost gotten physical altercations. Was Texas A&M. So, like, yeah, like one guy.
I'm passing it back, Ags.
Yeah, like one guy just comes up, and it was, of course, one of the many blown leads that Arkansas had in this game in Arlington. And he just like came up and was just like screaming in my ear. And so I kind of like pushed him back and everything. And he was a cadet. And I'm like, come on, man, like get out of my face. Look what you're wearing. Like, come on, man. And he was just like saying that he's like, I'm about to serve a tour and all this stuff. It's like, okay, well, just anyways. Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. It's just in person, they're the worst. But still, nothing will surpass. I'm dead serious about this. Because usually it's like the fan bases are always worse online than they are in person. LSU could not be more opposite. LSU fans are the worst in person, and it's not close. Like that, I haven't had many in there online, but in person, all the myths and the legends, they suck. They're the worst type of fans in person. So on the lookout for that. All right. Well, guys, any final thoughts before we roll out of here?
No, I don't think so. Not today.
All right.
Nah, just see you tonight, 8 p.m. Big game for the Hogs tonight. Big game for the Hogs. One could argue more important and has more stakes than Saturday's game. And excited for that, excited for the simulation, and excited to be at Alumni Hall tomorrow. So looking forward to it. Hope you will join us on our journey.
Yep. Got a lot of great stuff going on, folks. So be sure to have in. In fact, I know it's just going to be hopefully the 5th win for Arkansas on our simulation. But if they get that win against Tennessee too, I'm going to have to go out and get a bowling ball. We're going to have to bring Larry out and roll him down the deal because Arkansas going bowling if they start out 6-0 in the simulation. But yeah, 8 p.m. tonight, right here on Inside Arkansas. Listen, and if you haven't watched it before, we just have fun. We just chill and talk and have a good time. There's nothing too strenuous about it. We have people in the chat that will answer questions. and just have fun. That's all it is. It's just a very laid back, have fun thing. So if you haven't joined in, join in. It'll be a lot of fun. And come see us tomorrow again at Alumni Hall starting at noon with Inside Arkansas Live. That'll do it for us today. For Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, as well as intern Cameron, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow at noon, live from Alumni Hall in Fayetteville. We'll see you then.